Battlefield 2042 is about as entertaining as watching paint dry at the moment, and I said, you know what? We're not going to play Battlefield 2042 today, and I've been playing Battlefield 1 on stream occasionally. And while both of these games provide their own unique set of irritations you have to deal with while you play them, particularly if you're on PC, i.e. cheaters, I can't help but find myself get so bored of Battlefield 2042 that I legitimately want to end stream, and I'm not exaggerating here, within 10 minutes of me starting the broadcast. I'm done within 10 minutes, and you can ask the viewers. And there are multiple reasons for that. The biggest reason is I find 2042's gameplay to be one of the most boring things I've ever experienced. And you might think, well, Enders, we see your clips in the background gameplay. Surely you must be getting entertained. That's the crazy part. I'm not. And the best explanation for that is the gameplay is simply not satisfying. And I don't really know how to put it any other way. And when I switched to Battlefield 1, they give you enough things to do that you could realistically sit in the menu for 10 minutes alone and still be entertained, because you get to flip through all of these interesting historical facts and buy and customize weapons and look at assignments and what to unlock and all these different sorts of things you can customize. And while you could argue you could do the same thing in 2042, is it really equal? I don't think anyone would say it is. And that is sort of the point of this video. The point of this video is we're going to talk about Battlefield 1, talk about some of the things that I would love to see in the next Battlefield game from Battlefield 1, and just what made Battlefield 1 captivate a ton of people. And longtime viewers of the channel will know that I have my disagreements with Battlefield 1, particularly on some mechanics such as suppression and the second slide nerf destroying the movement of the game. But the fact of the matter is, I think Battlefield 1 does get a lot right. And I think it's more valuable than ever to take a look at that right now. So let's just jump right into things. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy the gameplay, I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. Drop my Twitch channel a follow. First link in the description. And feel free to leave your comments about this in the comment section down below. I would like to hear from you. All right, let's talk about 5 things from Battlefield 1 that Battlefield 1 does wonderfully that I would like to see in the next Battlefield game. And these are just my top 5 personal things. You can feel free to leave yours in the comments. Number 1 for me is effort, okay? And I'll explain what I mean by that. When you look around Battlefield 1, really in any corner of the game, whether it be the menu or the UI or the weapon skins or even the animations for opening the battle packs that you get the weapon skins from, there is effort put into every aspect of the game. And you cannot say the same for the past 2 Battlefield games. Battlefield 2042 more so than Battlefield 5. In Battlefield 2042, they didn't even so much as put a scoreboard in the game until the community bitched about it, right? That's pathetic. If you take a look at Battlefield 1 or even in Battlefield 4, just the UI alone is impressive. And then you take a look at more things, such as the sound design and the atmosphere, if you will. Everyone talks about the atmosphere of Battlefield 1, and I do believe they did nail it, even though I'm not a huge atmosphere person. I'm more of a gameplay mechanic-oriented person. And speaking of gameplay mechanics, or I guess sort of an offshoot of gameplay mechanics, weapon balance. Weapon balancing in Battlefield 1, in my opinion, is actually quite good. Every single time I come back to Battlefield 1 after not playing it for an extended period of time, I feel as though I can equip multiple different weapons and be as effective as I would like to be. I can use the Fedorov, the Showshot, the Burton, the Howl automatic, a slug shotgun, the Automatico, what else? Name a weapon, you can probably use it and be effective with it. And past being effective with it, it doesn't feel like most of these weapons are unfair, such as the RM68 pre-nerf in Battlefield 2042, the pre-nerf BSVM, the K30, I could go on and on and on. In Battlefield 1, when you die to these weapons and when you're using them, they feel dialed in. And maybe there are a few exceptions. Some would argue, oh, the SMG08, and what about the Hunter shotgun? Yes, of course. Every game is going to have their overpowered weapons, but in general, I feel as though Battlefield 1's weapon balance is actually an incredibly positive thing for the overall game experience, and I would love to see that carried over into the next Battlefield game, because let's be completely honest with ourselves here, we haven't really had great weapon balance since Battlefield 1, if you really think about it. Battlefield 5's weapon balance was kind of all over the place as well, and 2042's is even worse than Battlefield 5, so yeah, good weapon balance is a must for the next Battlefield. And what better to complement the weapons of the game than good maps to use the weapons of the game on? And this is always a topic people bring up with Battlefield 1. I don't think it's too hot of a take to say that Battlefield 1 has by far the best maps ever put in a Battlefield game as a whole. Okay, if you look at every single map in the game, compare it to other Battlefield games, I would give the edge to Battlefield 1 in the map department, even over games such as Battlefield 3. I think Battlefield 1 has some of the greatest infantry maps ever designed for a Battlefield game. We're talking Argonne Forest, Achi Baba, Passchendaele, Nivelle Knights, Priests. I mean, we're talking Amiens. You can just go on and on and on with some of these maps, and they are all maps that I would have no problem playing a 24/7 all-the-time server on. And then you look at some of the other maps that provide something for all types of players. You know, maps that accommodate vehicles and infantry play alike, such as St. Quentin Scar. Some people would say Sinai Desert, but I disagree. I don't think that map is that great. Some of the French DLC maps do a great job of balancing vehicles and infantry. Suisson comes to mind. Sorry if I butchered that if you speak French. I think it's Suisson, but I don't know, whatever. But the general point is, map design has been a particular sore spot in the past two Battlefield titles, Battlefield 2042 and Battlefield 5. Of course, 2042 worse than Battlefield 5 in terms of map design. And I really think it is as simple as them taking a look at Battlefield 1 maps, seeing how they're designed, seeing how they sort of flow, why things are the way they are, and I think they could really benefit from taking a look at that and then applying some of the things they learned into the next Battlefield game. If you have watched to this point, I really do appreciate it. Maybe you could comment down below. I watched to, 7 minutes in. I really do appreciate that. And if you did, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the last two things we're going to talk about in this video. The second to last is, of course, content. Now, content could mean a lot of things, right? But particularly, I'm going to focus on the content surrounding things to do in the game. Because in Battlefield 2042, I feel as though there's nothing to do. I look in the, assignments. Oh, wait. There are no assignments. And that's my general point. In Battlefield 1, there are things you can unlock, special perks some are difficult to get, some are not difficult to get. But the point is, they give you some things to actually work with, and you can use those things that you unlock via these assignments to perhaps gain an advantage over other people that haven't put in the amount of time, or maybe you get to do some special thing. You can specialize your class to play a certain way that you want it to play. I'm talking about things like reciprocity, for instance, for the medic class. That was something you can unlock. I believe off the top of my head, when you heal someone, you heal yourself a little bit. I think that's what it does. But the general point here is, we need to have something to fucking do in the next Battlefield game. Because I remember playing Battlefield 3, and there were these assignments. You can unlock different weapons, or an alternate camo for your weapon, or a gold dog tag, or something of the sort. In Battlefield 1, like I just mentioned, the proficiencies you can unlock to equip to change the way your class plays. 2042 really doesn't have anything fucking like that, and it leaves a gigantic gap. And last but certainly not least, and I'm sure I'll be told in the comments section that it is certainly not least by a lot of Battlefield 1 or maybe just Battlefield fans in general, the setting. The setting of the next Battlefield game matters a lot, but we're going to focus on one particular thing from the setting of the game. A lot of people will say that they really like Battlefield 1 because DICE kept really authentic to the World War I setting of Battlefield 1. A few good examples of this would, of course, be the uniforms the soldiers wear, the melee weapons that are available, some of the weapons that are available, meaning the iron sight variants of all of the bolt actions. You can just, equip those because that is what would have been used most commonly by foot soldiers in World War I. And then, of course, you have all of the map design and the trenches and the cavalry and all that sort of stuff. They kept true to the setting of World War I, and that really rung home with people. And even if the next game is modern, I think they'd be smart to be conservative A perfect example of them not being conservative with a modern setting would be Battlefield 2042, with the specialist system and all of these stupid, ridiculous things that they go around and say. Like, in Battlefield 1, you don't have McKay going, oh, it's time for another cup of coffee, right? Like, and you're like, McKay, shut your fucking mouth, right? Like, shut the fuck up, McKay, right? We don't have that going on in Battlefield 1, or Battlefield 4, or Battlefield 3, or Battlefield Bad Company 2, or I could go on and on, right? And with that being said, that's going to wrap this video up. This is kind of my top 5 things I guess we could learn from older Battlefield games, this time particularly Battlefield 1, and I'd like to see that happen in the next title. I think they'd be smart to do that. Thank you guys for watching. If you watched this point, I love you very much. I will kiss you directly in the forehead. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Follow my Twitch channel, first link in the description, and I'll see you guys later.